Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Carl. I'm a recovery coach here at Cap Recovery Center. This is our all recovery meeting for the day. Before we continue, I'm going to let everyone know that we have some other meetings that go on during the week, and they're in person and on virtual, as you see. So we have our Gratitude Tuesday meeting, and that's at 12 p.m. on Tuesdays. We have a coffee conversation meeting on every Tuesday at 2 p.m. We have our family meeting on Tuesdays at 5:30 p.m. And we have our all recovery meeting, as you see today, every Thursday at 1 p.m. And we have our men in training meeting that's later today on Thursdays at 3 p.m. And our Freedom Fridays meeting on Fridays at 1 p.m. Also, we have other fellowships that come here, and these are in-person meetings, not virtual, in-person. We have AA meetings. That's on Mondays, 11 a.m., Wednesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m., Fridays at 9:30. We also have NA meetings scheduled on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 12 to 1:30, and these are in-person meetings only. So the article I have today is Improve Your Attitude, Improve Your Recovery Success. And this article is about recovery.org. So if you like this article, you can go to recovery.org. So you've probably heard the saying, attitude is everything. But really, what is attitude and how does it affect addiction and recovery? Attitude describes the way we think or feel about something or someone. It's compromised as a viewpoint, an outlook, or a perspective that typically affects a person's behavior. Attitude affects how you treat other people, how you look at life, how you respond to challenges, and often whether you succeed or fail. And any attitude affects your relationships, your health, your self-image, and your self-confidence. Attitude is everything because attitude really matters in recovery and in life in general. Yeah, so I had to change my attitude when I got here in recovery, right? Because, like, to be honest, like my attitude like stunk, like when I was in active addiction. Um, my attitude was, or my perspective was, everything revolved around me. Only person I'm harming is myself. I really didn't care about nobody's emotions or feelings or how I reacted to them. That's another thing I'm still dealing with in recovery is how to react instead of respond instead of reacting. Um, so like when I got in recovery, like I wanted to change, right? And I had to change my attitude because it really did wasn't too good, right? It wasn't good at all. And like if I kept that same attitude that I had an active addiction to and when in recovery, like nobody don't want to associate with me. Nobody wants to associate with somebody that's got a bad attitude. I sure don't, right? So like I had to change things about me to be a better person. And my attitude was one of them. Well, one of the big ones that I had to change. And like my viewpoint on life and the viewpoint on myself, my attitude towards other people, that all had to change since I've been in recovery. I had to, or it just was going to not even make you relapse, right? But it can cause a lot of pain and harm towards others, like it goes deeper than just the drugs and alcohol. It's like my attitudes, my behaviors, my actions, that stuff has to change. Let's go to where do attitudes come from? Attitudes originate from our beliefs, those ingrained ideas that we take for granted as being truth. Our beliefs live deep within the subconscious part of our minds, where countless ideas, assumptions, and preconceived notions that we collected and developed over a lifetime have been sorted and stored away. Beliefs provide us with a built in mechanism for quickly making decisions because they offer a sense of certainty. But sometimes these truths are not as accurate as we imagine. Very true. Most of our beliefs were programmed in our brains at an early age. By age 6, a child's brain has cataloged enough ideas and perceptions to create a blueprint of how perceive themselves in the world. This blueprint becomes the child's belief system, and unless these beliefs are later constantly reevaluated and updated, which too often does not happen, remade assertive truths, attitudes, then demonstrate or express the whole world the content and meaning of these innermost beliefs, attitudes, and the beliefs they are built upon affect not only our thinking and behavior, but many other important aspects of our lives as well. I definitely agree with that part of the article. A lot of our beliefs that we're brought up with, the things how we're raised, how we're programmed. It's crazy to say it like that, how we're programmed, but like we start to believe that kind of stuff, that we're raised as, and it just some of the stuff is not truth, like as a kid, I hung around with people in the streets, and I was hanging around with people that were using and causing trouble and stuff like that. So I started to become them, right? I started hanging around with the ones that weren't up to no good, right? So I start to take on their beliefs and their attitudes. I start to become them. My grandpa always said, you start to become who you hang around with, and that came true. So as a kid, it's very crucial what we teach our kids and how we act and react in front of our kids, and show them. You have to have some boundaries, and you show them some respect, and you show them, teach them, make them learn, instead of I don't know, I want to go down a rabbit hole how to raise kids and stuff like that, but like it's very crucial to me, what we teach our kids and what we show our kids, because that's what it all like stemmed from me. Like I ran by myself, and I ran the streets with other people and did this and did that. I didn't have too much of guidance, right? So I was defend for myself, so basically like kind of the streets raised me, but I didn't have to be like that, but I made it that way, and it says at an early age, by age 6, a child's brain has cataloged enough ideas and preconceptions to create a blueprint. So at a young age, we start to retain this stuff. So the next one is how attitudes affect your health. One of the most important reasons to concern yourself with the idea of attitude at the possible consider improving yours if need be is that attitude can make a real and profound difference in your health. Check that out. In a 2016 Harvard Health Publishing Women's Health Watch blog, Dr. Laura, professor of social and behavioral science at Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health, stated that having a positive outlook or attitude defined as a sense of optimism and purpose seems to be predictive of health outcomes. She also found that emotional characterized by enthusiasm, hopefulness, engagement in life, and an ability to face life stresses with emotional balance is associated with a substantial reduced risk of heart attack and stroke. Wow. And that's something like, my fiance tells me, it's like, I can get worked up sometimes, right? She goes, "You're gonna have a heart attack," what I mean? But like, because at that time, like my attitude can stink, So I definitely agree with, watching our attitudes, it can affect our health, and it talks about like heart attacks, strokes, and stuff like that. So it definitely can reduce anxiety, depression. So our attitude does affect other aspects of our life, and it definitely can reduce things in our health also. We'll go to How attitude affects recovery. In addition to affecting health, attitude can significantly affect your chances for recovery success. Recovery requires motivation. Motivation is more than a desire for an outcome. It includes additional elements such as confidence in your ability and an intention to maintain desire for success. Over a long period in recovery, motivation also requires an ongoing decision to prioritize the goals, such as sustained absence every day. Motivation in recovery is aided by a positive attitude to be resilient and overcome setbacks. It is necessary to focus on what is possible and desirable rather than on what has gone wrong. With a positive focus, it is easier to get back on the horse and try again, limiting the negative effects of a misstep or setback and reestablishing forward momentum toward your recovery goals. First, decide to see yourself as someone who is capable of being an honorable person and someone who is willing to work toward the goal. Once you have embraced this attitude in your mind and heart, you will find it easier to remain on the path to success. Remember, in every situation, you can always find something that is good and something that is not. Which of these you mainly lock onto entirely a matter of your own choosing. Recognizing that attitude is a choice and not a matter of fate or luck allows you to take charge of your thinking and become empowered versus helpless. I like how it says, remember in every situation you can always find that something good or something that's not. So what I learned in recovery is like try to look, see the good things in life, in all situations, right? Because things happen in life that we don't like, right? You know, we don't agree with, or we don't particularly, like I said, we don't really like it, right? So we have to see the good things in the situations that we don't like. You know, some things are just not meant to be, you know, and that could be at the moment it doesn't feel too good, right? We can stir up a lot of negative emotions and feelings, but like in the long run, if we stay here long enough, right, we can see the good side of things. It's like, wow, like, well, you know, thank God that didn't happen because, you know, this would have happened or that would have happened. So we have to see the good things in life even if we don't like it. We'll go to attitudes for successful recovery. Yeah, if we better our attitudes, we definitely can have a better recovery. I can definitely agree with that. Some attitudes, like choosing to view situations from a positive perspective, can increase your chances of recovery success. Here are a few more to consider. Choosing honesty. As I noted in my article, the changing perceptions of yourself during recovery. The first step is changing negative self-perceptions and self-beliefs is to embrace honesty, radical honesty, where no distortions, minimizations, or half-truths obscure the reality of one situation. One of the reasons 12-step programs work for people is that they provide a place where the recovering person can be radically honest and bear embarrassing secrets about themselves without fear of judgment or ridicule. Becoming honest with oneself is the first important step of the road to recovery. I like this. You know, changing our perceptions of ourselves, that was big for me. Because I always had this attitude towards myself that it was so negative. Like I'm like my worst enemy, right? I can beat myself down more than anybody else can. So my core beliefs about myself, what I said about myself, my perception of myself, it was bad, you know, and that kept me stuck in the disease of addiction. You know, thank God I broke out of that. You know, thank God I gave myself a break and gave myself a chance. But some of these, yeah, it talks about 12-step programs, AA, NA, and there's a few others, right? Talks about being radically honest. Like there's a lot of things I've done, and I thought I was going to keep secret till the day I die, right? I'm going to take these secrets to the grave, as you speak, you know. But like some of the stuff that I kept secret, it kept me deeper and deeper in active addiction. So but like fear of being judged or looked at different, or like I'm a bad person. But when I came into a 12-step program, and here at Calvary Recovery Center, we welcome all pathways, right? I chose to go to a 12-step fellowship called NA. And and thank God for that, because like I got a sponsor that I can trust and confide in, right? And he don't judge me, right? He just loves me, no matter what. And he can relate. That was the biggest thing for me. What helped me in my recovery is I didn't feel alone anymore. I didn't feel alienated because like I thought I was worst of the worst and I was different from anybody else. I was unique, right? I was the worst of the worst, and like I was different, and I kept that in back of my head that like I'm broken on repair, but like when I came to the fellowship and started doing other pathways of recovery and started to find out about myself and start to let go of some of these secrets and stuff I've done. And people said, me too, right? Because as I always say, a me too program. And sometimes like when somebody's sharing or somebody's talking with me or sharing in the meetings and stuff like, and we laugh, it's usually because we've done the same thing. We can relate, it's relatable. So that made me feel a part of, that really made me stick around. And what a beautiful thing. What a beautiful thing. It says, have an open mind and being willing to try different approaches is important because there is no one size fits all recovery program. Yep, multiple pathways, all welcomed. Community-based programs such as AA, NA, and other 12-step programs work for many people, but they are not for everyone. Some people do better in a structured inpatient or partial inpatient rehab program. Cognitive behavioral therapy techniques work for many others, while alternative treatments such as acupuncture, biofeedback, or yoga may provide more stress relief and craving control for others. Find the programs and therapies that work for you, even if they are different from what you anticipated. Yep, have an open mind. Because I didn't have an open mind when I got here. Like everything that was drug and alcohol based. I always had some type of substance or narcotics that would solve, my problems. And in the long run, it's just the sanity of it. It was just making my problems worse. It was making everything worse. And until I opened my mind and tried something different, that's when I began to change and grow. And like I said, me and Cap Recovery Center welcome all pathways to recovery. And like I said earlier, I do a 12-step fellowship of NA. I go to church, right? I see a therapist. I seek outside help. I talk with other recovering addicts. I have a lot of coping skills. I have a lot of outlets to help me in my recovery, which I didn't in active addiction. I isolated. I kept everything to myself. Everything was about me. And what I've learned in recovery is the best way to get help is to get out of yourself, to help somebody else. That's where I can get my help out today. It might sound crazy at first. It's like, how are you going to receive help when helping somebody else? Trust me, it helps me to lessen what I have going on, because like we can have daily struggles, life shows up and, we get overwhelmed, we get stressed, anxiety, depression, right? And, but I learned too, like that's just temporary emotions and feelings. They come and go. As long as I stay here and I don't pick up, I have a chance. I have another chance to do something different. I had to change my attitude about things, right? I had to change my perspective. I had to change my thinking, the way I react, the way I respond. But it all betters my life. It all betters my life. So it says, learning from the past. Experience is often the best teacher. Look back and reflect on how you previously coped with a difficult situation, your own experience or that A trusted support person or sponsor may provide you with insight to help solve a current dilemma. If you can be adaptable and can remain flexible, you can respond to challenges with the wisdom and insight rather than reacting. Habit and old patterns to them. So that's another thing through the process of recovery is like, so I used to react this way, right? How am I reacting today? Or how am I responding today? Because when I got in recovery, like I had to change all that. I had to change all that. And any given moment, things can happen, right? I can resort to old behaviors and old ways and old bad attitudes, right? So, but I can address that today. Like when we get recovery, we don't get perfect. We just get better. As long as you put the work in, right? I had to do some work on myself. And one of the things that I do is step work, and I do some writing, and there's journaling, uh, gratitude lists. There's things that I can do for to learn about myself, and like put it on paper and going over it with somebody. We get to find out who we are and who we don't want to be, and who we used to be and who we can become. So it's definitely rewarding. It's freedom. It's the freedom that I seek in recovery. Freedom from self. Freedom from active addiction, losing the desire to use. That's a sense of freedom. That's my aim in life is just freedom. I don't want no worries. Just live life. It can be hard to do that. Staying in the moment, one day at a time. And talks about the past. Like I don't have to stay stuck there. I can revisit, right, and go over it with my sponsor or whoever, right. But I don't have to stay stuck in that. It's already done. I can't change it, right. The only thing I can do is move forward and do better. As the future, like I don't project in life. I mean, I can have goals, short-term goals, long-term goals, but like I don't stay stuck in an illusion of fantasy. That's another thing. But like try to stay. Life goes smoother if you stay in the moment and deal with things that come your way each day. So you don't have to overwhelm yourself or have stress, anxiety, depression, because we can cause all that ourselves. Like I can, like I don't need people to, cause all of this. I can do that myself. So, just let go sometimes. Surrender and accept. That's some of the principles we learn in recovery, and just like let things be. Is very soothing for your recovery. And we'll go to this last part here. It says practicing gratitude. AA and NA describes attaining serenity and gratitude as two of the most characterized makers of successes in the AA and NA, stating that gratitude and serenity are two sides of the same golden point of sobriety. By choosing to have a positive attitude and to feel gratitude, you can create a mindset that strongly supports recovery success. Yeah. Like when I pray, I pray as like I have gratitude for the things I have and the things I don't have. So I try to seek gratitude in all things. We're real grateful when we got things that we want or things that we need, right? But like when things are not going our way and the things that we don't want to happen, we're not too grateful for them. But we're not open minded, right? It's like maybe it's for a reason. Maybe it's not for this time, right? Maybe in the future this can happen, right? But at this moment, it's not time to whatever the case may be. So I practice gratitude by helping others. That's my main thing in life today. I'm not a materialistic kind of guy. you know, because things come and go, right? I'm just grateful for the things I have. And the one main thing I'm grateful for is my life, you know, just being alive, you know, because I took that stuff for granted. You know, I didn't care about anything. I didn't care about myself. You know what I mean? So like I was on a self destruction path of, you know, deeper and deeper in addiction, right? You know, I'm surprised I haven't died, you know, the way I was going. But, you know, I was awarded, not awarded, but, you know, afforded a second chance in life. So, like, I had to do something different. I had to change my attitude about myself and about the world. Um, and, you know, give myself a chance, give myself a break to get better. When I started doing that, you know, I started to little by little get better, you know, each day getting better. Um, but yeah, that was our all recovery meeting for the day. And it's improve your attitude, improve your recovery success. And this article is about recovery.org. Until next time, we'll see you later.